Welcome back. Sorry for the late, but Elmo has gone off track. And Elmo's going down the field, and it's all the way down in 10th place. I do apologize for the heavy delay in qualifying and the race, but we are back once again as Jacek is currently leading the race in the V car, followed up by Pink Eye Penguin in second place. Pink Eye Penguin going slightly off track there, as Alio Dib currently far behind both Pink Eye Penguin and Jacek. F1 Connor making the moves, going down the inside of Star Defender, and has improved 10 places to go up into 6th place right now. Connor qualifying in 16th. That breaks his pole streak in IRS F1. Let's focus back on the battle for the lead, because Pink Eye Penguin on the medium compound tires is quickly catching up to Jacek. Currently in Sector 2 now. We're going to have to try to see which tires everyone is on at the moment. Everybody on the medium compound tires, except for RXV Max, Nemo, and Hella High, currently in last place, as RXV Max gets a 3-second time penalty for cutting the track. Through the last corner now, Pink Eye Penguin has a lot of ERS to work with. Has a lot of DRS to work with. Heading towards turn 1, Jacek doesn't have the help of the DRS, and Pink Eye Penguin stays behind. Don't forget, there's a second DRS straight right after the first corner. And nothing that Pink Eye Penguin can do, but F1 Corner side by side with Kiers now, and F1 Corner getting a wonderful pass around the outside, which turned to the inside, and now is looking towards for a podium finish. A train starting to form behind Kiers now, with Donstead, Star Defender, and Lellers all behind him. Pink Eye Penguin getting ever so closer to Jacek through the second sector, into the third sector now, and well, it's going to be thinking that this is going to be an easy pass for him. Onto the DRS straight. Pink Eye Penguin will try to go around the outside Jacek. Jacek maintaining the inside line. And for now, it's still ahead. And nothing that Pink Eye Penguin can do again. Elmo getting past DBK after going off track and going down to 10th place from 5th. Pink Eye Penguin still 2 tenths behind Jacek at the moment. Using all the overtake throughout Sector 1. As Fluid gets a 3-second time penalty, currently down in 13th place for multiple warnings. Very easy to do around the Hungary wing, the track limits. Still looking at the battle for the lead here, because, well, Pink Eye Penguin has been on a lower ERS level. 2 laps before he was on 92%, lap before he was on 80, now it's all the way down to 40%. Opening up DRS, and that's one of the Williams going off track. That's Knud, I believe, who has yellow flags in the second corner. Pink Eye Penguin tries to make a move, locks up the front, and will have the opportunity to have another chance, but nothing. Luco and DBK switching around the first corner. Luco now in the points places. Here's now as Donster and Star Defender going side by side. This never usually works out well. And Star Defender will have an opportunity, but Donster defends it. That has allowed Leathers to catch up to these two, and you can tell that Star Defender getting slowly and slowly more frustrated every passing corner as Nemo gets a 3-second time penalty, currently down 14th. F1 Connor, the world champion, in 4th. Second to last corner, you can tell that it's almost a matter of when, not if. And you can see just ahead as well, the battle for the lead also heating up. There could be 2 passes on the same straight here. Pink Eye Penguin will go down the inside of Jacek, locking up the front again. And you can see F1 Connor in the background, getting the move done easily on the straight. Connor now in 3rd place. The gap is currently 2.8 seconds between Pink Eye Penguin and Connor. These guys, both of them fought it out in the penultimate laps at Imola, but well, that ended in contact. So, any chance that Pink Eye Penguin can perhaps further the gap from the Mercedes behind would be greatly appreciated, and immediately that gap between Connor and Pink Eye Penguin has gone down by 7 tenths or a second. Incredibly fast lap here, only 1 minute and 20 seconds usually in race pace. The IRS open once again. No doubt that Jacek is putting the IRS at none throughout many of the corners in sector 2s and 3s as Missour gets a 3-second time penalty. As Elmo gets ahead of Leathers, and the full-on switch around RXV Max getting ahead of DBK. Star Defender getting ahead of Fluid. It's still so close between the front two, but feels like there's nothing that Pink Eye Penguin can do. That gap has dropped down from 2.8 seconds just 2 laps ago to now 1.5. Everyone except for RXV Max, the Donster, Star Defender, and Nemo hella high as well onto the mediums. Donster, Star Defender pitting just early, and you can see hella that Pink Eye Penguin losing the rear on the exit of the last corner, and nothing can do, honestly. Star Defender, who just pitted on the previous lap behind Donster. These guys pitted at the same time. Star Defender getting the fastest lap. And into the first corners. Yep, easiest move that Star Defender will do. Connor now dropping into that crucial second gap. Losing it again, but will very quickly catch up. And it will be a 3-car fight for the lead of the race. DBK getting a 3-second time penalty. Pink Eye Penguin opening up DRS, and so does Connor. No. Leathers versus Elmo. Leathers has the DRS. Can't do anything about it. It's just not close enough. DBK will go for the inside move on RX VMAX and gets the move done. Simple enough. But RX VMAX will try to fight back into the next corner, and he does. That front right wheel next to DBK's left rear, but nothing. So Connor now joins this fight for the lead. Caution in sector 1, that's one of the Hasses. It will be Nemo going slowly on the second DRS straight. And both of the leading two cars will feel the pressure. Opening up the DRS now. And Ping Up will try to go around the outside of the first corner. Connor smells an opportunity. Once again, Jacek doing everything to stay ahead, and he's still ahead. It could be a possibility that he's running lower wings, but my goodness me, has he defended well in these last 12 laps, it feels like. Monster DBK. Monster. 5 tenths behind. Star Defender at the moment. Kiers now under a second from Aliodib. But you just can't turn away from the battle from the lead. It feels like... oh dear. Well. Into the last corner as F1 Connor decides to go straight into the pits. We'll probably go for the undercut. Pink Eye Penguin maintaining position. Luco half a tenth behind the V-Carb teammate of Jacek, Lellers. And Donster gets ahead of Star Defender. Nud gets another 3-second time penalty for warnings as DBK comes into the pits. Came into the pits for fresh hard compound tyres. And both Jacek and Pink Eye Penguin will lap Canard at the moment, who's just all the way down in last place. Connor getting past Luco after pitting. Connor feels like he's in traffic at the moment, but the V-Carb mercifully comes straight into the pits. It's interesting because Jacek and Pink Eye Penguin are still going, so they feel like they don't need to pit. Lellers does though, the V-Carb 99. RX VMAX coming into the pits as well. Pierce now still stuck behind the Williams as the battle between Donster and Star Defender has clearly not spaced out. Donster's still far ahead. Not far ahead, but still right behind Star Defender. So, Jessic came into the pits. Currently, sorry, I'm just going. Jessic getting past Donster, getting past traffic, and that allows Star Defenders to catch back up and trying to go down the inside, but yeah, nothing. Honor. Pink Eye Penguin goes into the pits. This traffic may help Pink Eye Penguin a lot. But the speed difference... Yeah, there's no chance that the Red Bull can stay in front of Connor, and you can see that because, wow. Connor's going to get a massive lead here. He's already 8 seconds, I believe that is, ahead of Pink Eye, ahead of Jessic. Yes, that is. And Pink Eye Penguin's going to drop all the way down to 5th place behind both Donster and Star Defender. And these two, Donster and Star Defender, be battling out this entire race with no compromises. The midfield pack containing Elmo, Aliodib, Leathers, and Kears now will join very shortly. Is heating up. Kears now gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Pink Eye Penguin trying to go around the outside of the Ferrari. Another 3-second time penalty. A simple enough move for the Red Bull. Look at that. And we'll want to overtake the McLaren on this straight as well. Canard retires from the session and, well, close enough on the apex, but on exit has no chance for a move. Leathers feeling the pressure from behind. The white liveried Red Bull on fresh tyres, fresher tyres than the V-Carb. He is now just going and taking every liberty with track limits because, well, that was a very wide moment there. Elmo also right behind Aliodib. Very consistent this season, multiple podiums. Gone off on what I believe was the third or fourth lap. We'll want to overtake and catch up to the 3 cars who are leading. He's going to have to get moved on in this lap. And Elmo will try to go around the outside, locks up. Here's now gets the overtake done on Lellers. And locking up the front left. Elmo not getting past on this lap. Hella high into the pits, exiting the pits on fresh hard compound tyres. Here's now catching up to both Elmo and Aliodib. Opening up the DRS, it feels like Elmo is more under pressure than Aliodib here. He is now looking for the opportunity. And he will get one now. He is now looking to the inside on multiple occasions, and there's contact on the rib diffuser for the Aston Martin, but crucially still stays ahead. Donster still behind Star Defender. But Star Defender goes straight into the pits. Elmo no longer has the DRS of Aliodib in front. And so Kiers now will have the advantage here. I mean, Elmo losing time, and at any point Kiers now can overtake, but Kiers now decides to go into none and not try. Probably a strategic decision. Yep. As there's yellow flags, and that's one of the Aston Martins. That is Mizor, who's currently last place. Gets back up running again, but yeah, doesn't. Donster follows Star Defender into the pits, but the undercut very strong, so it could allow Star Defender to get ahead by a couple of seconds. Elmo deploying DRS. Still not close enough here. Oh no, that was Kiers now deploying DRS. Monster comes out of the pits behind DBK and 4 seconds away from Star Defender as Mizoro comes and gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Frustration will start to build in that white Red Bull. Has come close to overtaking multiple times with no reward for it. His does have a 3-second time penalty to worry about. And Elmo goes very deep at the second to last corner, and that will allow Kiers now to go round the outside. The Aston Martin versus the Red Bull, and Elmo losing the rear and losing the place consequently. Yellow flags in Sector 1, that's one of the Alpines. It's either Fluid or RX VMAX, and it's Fluid. Connor taking the lead, a commanding lead, 7.5 seconds ahead of Jessic. Pink Eye Penguin behind Jessic by 3.5 seconds. Well, by Aliodib, Kiers now, Elmo, who's still within DRS range despite what it was either contact or losing the rear end at the last corner. DBK gets passed by Donster, and the gap has grown between Donster and Star Defender by 6.8 seconds. The undercut really showing its worth around here. And now everybody has spread out, but Nemo and Fluid, oh, the Nemo has disconnected, but Fluid has made a couple of mistakes. I believe that's that one of the bit of the front wing going off. Yeah, there's no right side of that front wing anymore. Then plate missing. Just like not catching up to Connor at the moment, the gap still being around 7.5, 7.4 seconds. As we see Elmo dropping back from Kiers. Kiers seem to be well, that's one of the Alpines going off. And that is Fluid. Oh, lucky that he's ghosted, because that was not a safe rejoin. At any point, that ghost will not turn B1. What I just said, the ghost will no longer be a ghost, as Aliodib will be having a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He's currently P4. Connor comes back into the pits, doing a 2-stop, and onto the medium compound tyres. He will need to make these mediums last for 11 laps, but that has given the opportunity for Jessic and Pink Eye Penguin to stay out onto the hards. Whether that's viable is a different question altogether. Star Defender behind his teammate Luco. I can't imagine Luco defending this very much, and so he doesn't. Set the other flags in Sector 1 again. That's the Alpine again. Is it still Fluid? Yep, it's Fluid, and he's lost his entire front wing. Gonna turn like a boat with all that understeer, and Resort ghosted as well, but yeah, Fluid is not particularly happy, I assume, with that damage. Anyway, here's now and Aliodib both fighting on equal terms, with both having time penalties. Elmo just behind could be able to take advantage to, after the race, going up into P4 as Fluid retires from the session. He's currently in Sector 2. Retiring on track is one of the sins that you can't do. Is now showing the pace around Hungary that he has, opening up both ERS and DRS, and he's catching up at a fast rate. Goes from the inside to the outside, and what's happened here? This ghosted. That could be just connection, and we'll have another chance to go for the overtake on this straight. Stays behind. You can tell that the Williams is kind of rattled by the presence of the Red Bull. Yellow flags. It was at the towards this corner. Kiers slowly getting more and more impatient. This will inevitably allow Elmo to catch up, and they both don't want that, considering the time penalties that they have. As F1 corner, after pitting, Jesek follows. Connor getting the fastest lap. Here's we'll have the DRS once again. A similar gap to last lap, but you can see the Williams defending very, very hard, and Williams will have a more of a tighter line. Here's we'll get the better exit. But still, it's not enough for the white Red Bull, and the pace is getting really hampered here. Jesek comes out all the way down in 10th place on the hard compound tyres. Whether that is a smart choice or not, it could be interesting actually. Connor, if he can make those mediums last 11 laps, that'll be very good for him. He's already 4.8 seconds behind Pink Eye Penguin, who hasn't done a second stop. Star Defender also very close to Lellers, around half a tenth, but we're still going to keep our cameras pinned onto Kears now. Elmo may try to go for the long haul here. Here's Elmo and Aliodib on similar age tyres. That's Nemo in the pit, says the Red Bull will go for a similar maneuver as he did last lap, but he commits to the outside and he goes onto the white lines, yellow flags, and that is one of the Ferraris. Here's now still not being able to do the move. That's Hella High, who has spun round at Sector 2. Not a great race. Kears now getting the move done, and the Williams tries to fight back. And well, Elmo throughout the last 4 laps is here. Let's go to Donster, Jesek, and Luco. Connor gets another fastest lap, dropping the time between him and Pink Eye Penguin by more than 3 seconds, as he's 1.1 seconds behind Pink Eye Penguin. And Jesek with tyre advantage, evidently. 1 lap old hards versus 6 lap old hards. It's plainly going to be simple for the V-Carb, who has shown his pace all race. Waits patiently behind the battle between him, the Donster and Luco, and it's going to be almost 2 part moves on the same straight. Donster goes way too deep on the brakes, and that was Jesek for an easier move. Jesek going from 10th to 8th with 2 DRS clicks. Connor rapidly approaching the Red Bull's location. Oh, contact between the front wing and the rear diffuser. And Connor, well, look at this. It's just going to be too easy for the Mercedes man. Connor will have the DRS to protect himself, waving the DRS. Elmo and Aliodib. Aliodib not having the DRS to help Elmo, and well, with this straight, there's only 1 DRS activation zone. So I'm completely... And Elmo struggling with pace this week. Probably didn't expect to be slower than Piers now and earlier did. But once again, it's a patient waiting game due to both of them in front having time penalties, and Piers still hasn't ran away with it. Let's go to Jacek. Most recent pitter on the 2-stop, medium hards and hards again. Has 6 more laps to go from, well, he's currently P7 back to where he was in P2. Was going to be P3 once Connor overtook, but regardless, he's 4 places down and he's only got 1 minute and 20 laps to do it. And so it feels like it's going to be a tall order here. After overtaking Stardev, he's got 5 seconds to catch up to both Elmo and Aliadib and Kiz. Jessic getting the move done on the McLaren as Stonster gets the overtake done on Lellers. Now mind you, the pace differential will be very, very big between Jacek and the 3 cars in front of him due to just how old Elmo, Aliadib and Kiznow's tyres are. And you can see that gap has already dropped down to 4.3 seconds, and the delta is rapidly decreasing. It goes down to just 3.5 seconds after a single sector. Jacek pushing as hard as he can. The V car panning into shot there. Now it's 2.5 seconds after the 3rd sector. Elmo doesn't have any time penalties to worry about, can just wait behind here, but it's just not going to be enough to run away from Jacek. Five tenths splitting Elmo and Aliadib. But it's all pretty much single file through the 2nd and 3rd sectors. The main overtaking opportunities in the first sector, I should be clarifying. But at 32, going to be 33. Not now, actually. It's lap 32 now. Jacek now within DRS range. Elmo locking up, and that has allowed Jacek to come out from nowhere. The pink V car will go round the outside of the last corner. And it's just a simple move for the V car. It's a wonderful move regardless. And that's one of the Red Bulls retiring. That's Pink Eye Penguin! Your 2nd place man has retired from the session. And that has caused a safety car to come out on lap 32. I didn't expect that. Perhaps nobody in the lobby expected to see Pink Eye Penguin on the DNF list. A shocking moment for everyone in the lobby for IRS, but it's just... So, because it's lap 32 and the safety car is out, does Connor go into the pits? He does choose to, but regardless, if he didn't pit or not, he would still be 33 seconds ahead of Kiz. The question is that what happens to everyone below? That has hampered Kiers and Aliodib's races due to the 5-second time penalty, and realistically, the safety car will have to pit in around the end of lap 33 to allow for 2 laps of racing. I believe the game does. It doesn't allow for one final lap. So does Aliodib and Kiers now choose to go into the pits? Aliodib chooses not to, which is a brave choice considering he's going to be on 16 lap old hards at the restart. Both Kiers and Jessic, Elmo, Star Defender, Donster all coming into the pits. That's my controller. Luco in the McLaren also chooses to pit. DBK was already on the softs. I believe that he just came in as the safety car was announced. But yeah, this is yeah, Aliodib is probably very quickly going to regret the decision that he's made, considering, well, okay, so the other hard tyre runner out there is Hella High Nemo. Missouri, I believe, has disconnected, so, oh no, he's still here. Nemo has disconnected, so he won't go into the pits, I imagine. Kiers now gets another 3-second time penalty. That's 6 seconds. That goes from bad to even worse for his aspirations for a good points result here. 6 seconds is an age straight after a safety car restart, and Alio did realise that he's complete. Oh, safety car is in this lap. Like I said, at the end of lap 33, to allow for 2 laps of racing. And well, okay, so this turns its head as well, what's happened here? I believe that. Okay, let's see where Jessic is at the moment. Jessic currently in going towards the second to last corner. Connor going slowly, but will allow everyone to catch up as that's one of the Aston Martins coming in. I believe that's Missouri coming to the pit lane. Connor will restart for 2 laps more of racing, and Aliodib has an Alpine in front, but Kiers now is just going to get a very simple move down the inside. But Jessic will go down the inside of both the Red Bull and Williams, and contact between the Williams and V-Carb. Oh, that V-Carb is very quick, too quick for the Williams. That Williams is going to get swarmed. The Aston Martin and the McLaren look like they're double teaming. Try overtake, never mind. Elmo and Star Defender both making contact. And that has, and that won't be appreciated at all. Star Defender going down the inside of the Williams, and Aston Martin will try to follow up on the same. Elmo is getting stuck here. It's not going to be too happy. The delta difference between 18 lap old hards and 1 lap old softs is probably the biggest we're going to ever see in this race. Elmo with the overtake. Still being patient. Kiers now just under a second, but he's got a 3-second time penalty, so realistically, if he does overtake, it won't even matter. Heading towards the final lap now. Oh wait, so... okay, wait. The IRS is now enabled. Yep, it's the final lap. And Elmo going around the outside of Aliodib. Aliodib going way too deep on the first corner. Nothing that the Williams can do to defend from this. Donster will likely follow up on the same contact on the rear, and that pushes the Williams out into the runoff. And Donster going up into P6. Connor has executed this race to perfection. Started in 16th place. Has climbed up the entire field. The champion is just showing what he can do. And it looks like it was too easy for him. Because as he comes across the last corner, Connor will win at Hungary. Kiers now will go across the road in P2, but goes down to P3. Jessic in P2. Star Defender comes across the line in 4th place. Elmo in 5th after qualifying 3rd. Donster comes across the line 6th. Aludib in 7th. Lellers in 8th. Luco in 9th place. DBK, who didn't manage to catch up because of how quickly the safety car restarted, will make its way through the final corner where his teammate placed first. Just add a 0 onto that. It will be P10 for the Mercedes man, and Hella High will come across the line in P11. RXV Max in 12th, Nemo in 14th. Pink Eye Penguin, Fluid and Canard are your retirees. And well, what a situation we had on lap 32. Connor taking the win. Followed up by Jacek. And Piers now, who probably didn't think he was going to be at the podium at the end of the race, but he is. Could have been P2 without time penalties, but considering he had 6 seconds worth, I think he'll be happy with that. So yeah, look at that. Oh no, going from 16th all the way to 1st, I mean, wow. Jacek maintaining 2nd place where he qualified. He is now improving up into 3rd. Star Defender going from 7th to 4th. Elmo, if that safety car didn't happen, would have been on the podium. Donster, from where he was, staying in 6th place, very good. Alio Dib made a sort of blunder with the strategy, staying out on those 16 lap old hards at that time, finishing on 19 lap old hards compared to everybody else softs. But regardless, thank you very much for watching the stream. I'm sorry if it was very, very scuffed due to the router being that. Never mind. Thank you very much, and have a good rest of your day.